Well, a lot of the problems in the Republic can be traced back to the Great Recession in 2008 when Ireland's banking industry and its housing industry both collapsed under the government led by Fianna Fáil, the main opposition party to Varadkar's Fine Gael party. And it left the Irish taxpayer holding the bag. So for many years, Fine Gael gained from that. They've been in power since 2012. And when Varadkar succeeded Enda Kenny, his predecessor as Taoiseach, he took over at a time when Fine Gael was still riding high. The problem is that neither party has addressed the real problems in the South that you mentioned earlier. The economy is doing well when it comes to employment. It's doing very, very poorly when it comes to housing.
Let's talk about Varadkar. What led him to sweeping into power? And certainly 3+ years ago, people were very optimistic that change was going to be coming, new leadership.
Well, he seemed to be he is a very progressive figure in the sense that he's openly gay, he has a husband, and he seemed to symbolize the new Ireland. He pushed through referendums that legalized abortion, and it made his international status rise quite high. The problem is that his government, as I say, has not addressed these bread and butter issues. And this is a particular problem in Ireland because Ireland has the youngest population in Europe. And so you have a lot of very highly educated people in Ireland who, in many cases, have very good paying jobs, but they have nowhere to live.
Let's talk about the youth as well, because obviously that group is pushing for change, and the rallying call of current leaders that Brexit isn't over is not playing well.
No, well, to them, Brexit has been put on the back burner. And you're right, we're nowhere near close to being finished with Brexit. Varadkar thought that he could go into this election touting the fact that he very deftly handled the negotiations so that a hard border did not return to Ireland between the Republic and the 6 counties of Northern Ireland. In effect, what the British Prime Minister Boris Johnson had to agree to was creating a customs barrier in the Irish Sea. And Varadkar's been pushing that victory, but for many people in the South, that's a distant issue for them. The problems of Brexit have not come to the fore yet. The problems of not being able to find a place to rent or to find a place to live, never mind the ongoing crisis with the health system, is what is the focus for voters today. And Varadkar was health minister 5 years ago when a lot of these problems in the healthcare system with long waiting lists for doctors, not enough hospital beds were present even then. So he's had 5 years, his government has had 5 years to deal with this problem, and they simply haven't done it.
You know, for an international audience, let's talk about reunification. At one point at the border there was barbed wire, then of course troops with machine guns. Now so many roads crisscross, you wouldn't notice a whole lot. Sinn Féin calling for reunification, will it happen, or is it something that is clouding everything?
Well, the Sinn Féin leader, Mary Lou McDonald, has been very smart in downplaying the whole issue about reunification. The party, it does stand for reunification, but they've put that off as not an immediate goal. The hope is for a border vote. And that border ballot, if the majority of people in Northern Ireland want reunification with the South, that would reunify the country. But everyone agrees that until you can convince the loyalist population in the North that reunification is a good thing, that's not going to happen. In the meantime, you still have the paramilitaries problem. 5 years ago, the British Domestic Intelligence Service, MI5, issued a report stating that despite the peace process that's been going on since 1998, none of the paramilitary organizations have disbanded. None of them have really given up their weapons or the explosives that they have. And just this past week, a group calling itself the Continuity IRA tried to set off a bomb on a ferry going between Scotland and Northern Ireland. If that bomb had gone off, if it had not been discovered, it would have led to massive loss of